December 28, 2021. Good evening, televiewers, and thanks for joining us for another edition of the 6 p.m. English news over the Republican television. Let's begin right away with our headlines. To assure national and international opinion on the availability of products in markets during this end of year at normal prices, the Minister of Trade, Kmer BrigadeAntiSardinard, has this Tuesday held a meeting with consumers and syndicates of traders. The outbreak of the deadly COVID-19 virus has greatly affected prices of some commodities like rubber, wood in the world market. Prices have either increased or decreased depending on demand and supply. Those were our headlines. We'll have details in a bit. You're welcome back. Let's begin the news with our economic page, where the outbreak of the deadly COVID-19 virus has greatly affected prices of some commodities like rubber and wood in the world market. Prices, quantity and quality have either increased or decreased depending on demand and supply. We have details of the story with Ann Omeko.
Many commodities in the world market are experiencing a drop in prices during this end-of-year season. An instability that buyers are faced with due to the COVID-19 pandemic that keeps affecting the economy. Petrol reduces for the first consecutive time with 1.1%, that is 42,598 francs CFA. This greatly affects this sector with the outbreak of COVID-19 and not sparing economic operators, as this affects the quantity of supplies this end-of-year period. The prices of lithium has quadrupled since the month of November due to the limited quantity of production that is not up to buyers' demands. Production stands at about 240% as demand is not very high. Minerals move from $6,000 to $24,000, that is close to 14 million francs CFA. Gold stands at about $71.04, equivalent to 41,140 francs CFA, backed up by latest information after the sector of production is hit by the deadly COVID-19 pandemic. The situation is same in the United States of America. Production not very bad, as production might increase in 2022. By January 2022, Saudi Arabia, a very big gold producer, announces an increase of 60 cents towards its destination. Concerning the situation of carbon, production is experiencing a positive change as a ton has increased for the first time, estimated to €80, that is more than 52,000 francs CFA in European markets, that is more than 52,000 francs CFA in the European market. As a second option, electricity producers take a U-turn towards charcoal that is cheaper though too polluted. Looking at the actual situation of wood, a good number of plants of about 2.36 cubic meters for the supply in January 2022 increased to 28.5 in the last 2 weeks to attain $794.4 a few hours ago, that is more than 460,000 francs CFA, an increase since the month of July. This increase is provoked by storms and heavy rains in most parts of Britain.
Cameroon's Minister of Trade, Kmer BrigadeAntiSardinard, has today held a meeting with consumers, syndicates of traders and other stakeholders to assure national and international opinion on the availability of products in markets during this end-of-year period and at normal prices. The meeting held at the conference of his ministerial department here in Yaoundé was an avenue for the trade boss to launch a one-month hunt for all those who increase prices abnormally. Minister Kmer BrigadeAntiSardinard equally used the occasion to assure all that products witnessing normal increases are products which have been increased at the international level. Let's now listen to Minister Kmer BrigadeAntiSardinard in an excerpt carefully selected by Dan Ninkam.
In particular, in this delicate period with, AFCON, it's very important to have common organization, concertation, active concertation between administration, municipalities, and of course, the traders in the market. We need to put an end to the disorder we have in our market. It supposes that we have to control, of course, the prices in the market, but we cannot do it only by the administration only. We need to associate also the economic operators themselves. We need to associate the administrative authorities. We need to associate also the municipalities. This is what we have decided to do today. Of course, to have this full control of price. It's important also to be able to supply the market and to supply the market on the same basis of rational organization. Is one of the decisions we have taken today. To have the harmonization, if you don't supply on the same basis, it's normal that you will have different price in the market. It's very, very important to have harmonized organization, harmonized price, and of course, an harmonized society. We need to have a peaceful society in our country.
We continue with our economic page, where buying and selling online has become very common as it saves time and reduces cost. It is a form of business that is aimed at satisfying customers far and near. Despite the numerous advantages, there are some challenges these business operators are facing. We have details of the story with Ann Omeko.
Selling and buying online seems to be the best and less stressful way of carrying out business transactions without necessarily moving from one town or country to another. Many Cameroonians are getting more interested in online business.
I started business in 2017, so it's been approximately 4 years now.
I'm doing online business. It has been for 4 years now since the crisis started, because I was in Bamenda.
An easier way to satisfy customers near and far.
Majority are those who know me personally. Those who know me personally, that know my family, that know my parents.
Yeah, when I have the goods, if you are in Bamenda, Douala, Bafoussam, you only send me 1,000 francs for sending fee. I package your luggages, then I go to an agency, I send them, then you collect from there.
Despite the numerous advantages, there are some challenges they face.
Some will buy goods online. When the goods arrive, you receive insults. The quality is not good. What I saw in the picture is not what you send.
Online business, they need to send you their money first before you send them the goods, because it's difficult. You can send to somebody and then at the end of the day you don't receive your money.
Online business, a unifying factor and gateway to a variety of goods, especially during this festive period. Caution to all. Transactions must be well verified and only with those you know and trust through a social media network.
The new director of UNESCO Heritage Center, Cameroonian-born Lazare Elundu Esomo, has expressed deep gratitude to the head of state and some government officials for their words of encouragement and congratulations since he was appointed director of the center. He was speaking at the Star Building during an audience accorded him by the Prime Minister, head of government, Chief Dr. Joseph Dion Guti. We have BrigadeAntiSardinard in the following report.
Appointed a director of the United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO World Heritage Center earlier this December 2021, Lazare Elundu Esomo is the first African to occupy the post of responsibility. Away from being just a courtesy visit, meeting with the Prime Minister, head of government, Chief Dr. Joseph Dion Guti, this Monday, December 27th, 2021, it was an opportunity for Lazare Elundu Esomo to show gratitude for the support from some officials in Cameroon, being his home country, since he was appointed.
My visit to the Prime Minister was, of course, to express my gratitude to my country, particularly to His Excellency, the Head of State, for his letter of congratulation, which is going to be a source of energy for me. And I thank His Excellency the Prime Minister for his time also.
The over close to 2 hours audience with the head of government was also an opportunity for the new director to share with the head of government his action plans.
The first African to be in charge of World Heritage is that I think it would be important to have a better representation of African sites, but not only that. The world is facing climate change, conflict, and many others, like we have seen also with the pandemic. And I think World Heritage can also play a role in reducing and finding solutions for some of these challenges.
The new director and son of the soil says he hopes to see a better collaboration with the government in the exercise of his duty for a better protection of the World Heritage sites. Laza Elundu Esomo will be meeting with the External Relations Minister this Wednesday in a bid to discuss his roadmap and seek possible solutions and advice to be Cameroon's ambassador wherever he goes.
The Minister of Livestock, Fisheries and Animal Industries, Dr. Tiger, has challenged actors of the sector in the North region to livestock farming, especially poultry in the region. He was speaking this Tuesday, December 28, while chairing a ceremony of the award of a certificate to some women who engaged in a 3-day training in the region. We have Bertrand Tita once more.
Minister Dr. Tiger of Livestock, Fisheries and Animal Husbandry this Tuesday chaired the ceremony to present certificates to women of the Lamidat of Cameroun. These women benefited from a 3-day training course that began from December 23rd through 26, 2021 at the Development Center in Garoua, chief town of the North region of Cameroon. The beneficiaries could not hide their joy, who expressed their satisfaction and gratitude for the continuous effort to empower women.
We are very happy with these gifts that have been given to us. We intend to make good use of them. We will equally add chicks and reproduce more.
On his part, the Minister of Livestock, Fisheries and Animal Husbandry, Dr. Tiger, recommended that all stakeholders in the livestock sector should continue to maintain this enthusiasm to supervise and support all initiatives aimed at boosting livestock farming in general and poultry farming in particular.
To improve livestock development. So we are beginning by this type of learning, and as you know, we begin with the women of the Lamida of Garoua, and I think it's the best way for us to improve livestock development. Board meeting have the main resolution of the board meeting is this animation, pastor animation. It's the main resolution we have there.
He reiterated that this sector is a promising one and will facilitate the emergence of Cameroon geared for 2035.
Let's now talk health, but this time around with a cover shot where athletes in recent times reportedly die of heart attack during sporting activities, which is quite a call for concern. Our reporter Diane Nenkam met with a cardiologist who brings out the reasons for this phenomenon, which is considered abnormal, and possible ways through which it can be prevented. Let's take a listen.
Sudden death of an athlete may be explained usually by cardiovascular conditions. Most often we have some cardiomyopathies, so these pathologies of the muscle, of the heart muscle, that may induce some rhythm troubles that may explain this sudden death in some patients, in some athletes during efforts. They are surrounded by medical teams that are supposed to take care and to diagnose the different conditions. But it's true, it's not an easy condition to be diagnosed, because it may be it can be diagnosed in some particular conditions. You also have some of those athletes who maybe cannot accept the condition and maybe go continue doing their sport activities even though they have this cardiac condition. Can be avoided by doing systematical screening of patients or of athletes before they start their physical activity. It's true that it's not very easy to be diagnosed, because sometimes it needs some particular conditions, some particular test to do this diagnosis. The advice is just to make sure that before they start their physical activity, they make sure they can consult a specialist of cardiovascular diseases, because this is mostly the first cause of these conditions. You can consult them so that they can do a checkup, they can do some exams to make sure that they have no cardiovascular condition that may explain or that may lead to this kind of end.
The Ministry of External Relations has received in audience ambassadors from different African countries that will be taking part in the Africa Cup of Nations beginning January 9, 2022 in Cameroon. The ambassador of Nigeria to Cameroon, Gabriel Abayomi Olonisakin, expressed satisfaction with the different facilities made available. Let's now listen to the ambassador in an excerpt carefully selected by Anne Omeko.
I want to really commend the government of Cameroon for the wonderful facilities they have provided for the competition that is coming in January. These facilities are quite commendable, and the minister had actually briefed us on all the preparations made, such that we will have a very successful AFCON 2021. And those issues borders on how areas of visa, areas of the vaccination, and areas of other preparations to ensure that the competition is quite successful. And we are appreciative of all that he has said to us this afternoon.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, you're watching the 6 p.m. English News over Camdis Television. Let's now talk sport, where in 2 weeks from now, the official launching ceremony of the Total Energies Africa Cup of Nations will be taking place in the capital city of Cameroon, Yaoundé. It is rather unfortunate that the city does not speak for itself, as going through the streets, one does not see any aspect of communication such as banners or flyers. Ruth Fonyong went through the streets of Yaoundé and compiled the following report.
Barely 11 days to kick off the Africa's single biggest event, Total Energies Africa Cup of Nations in Cameroon, Yaoundé, the host city, is indifferent, as there are no banners, flyers or communication of any sort on storyboards around the town. It is also pathetic to say people are not aware of these great events.
Communication has been too slow. When you move around town, you don't even see as if we are having an event that we are just left with maybe a week to organize or to host this can. The kickoff match is on the 9th of January. But when you are moving around, you don't know that something is going to happen in Cameroon. And we are very discouraged. We are still doubting if there will be what they call last year glissement or what is happening.
I don't think it's been communicated well enough, actually. They probably could have done a bit more. It's because we're all excited and looking forward to it, that we know it's there. But in terms of publicity and everything all around town, there's not been too much, actually, to be honest with you.
Yaoundé, on the eve of the AFCON, people blame the organizing committee for the lack of communication.
And the organizers, because the Cameroons are definitely looking forward to the African Nations Cup. And they definitely want the game, so I don't think they would not want the publicity. In fact, it's the Cameroonians that are making the publicity, and I don't think the organizers have done enough Well, but who knows? We still have 1 or 2 weeks. Who knows?
People who are in charge of the organization, be it the Fcfa or be it the Ministry of Sport, we blame them. We blame them. It's like they have not even enlightened the masses. People are doubting. Is it true that the African Nations Cup is going to take place in Cameroon? So nothing is happening.
Though with this slow nature of communication, lovers of football in particular and the population in general hope that within these days left, the capital city of Cameroon will be painted blue with banners, flyers, roll-ups and backdrops of the African Nations Cup.
The emergency committee meeting of the Cameroon Football Federation that met on Monday, December 27, 2021, has appointed former Secretary General Benjamin Didier Banlock to occupy the post on interim basis. This is the first major move made by the Samuel Etofi's-led Fcfa ESCO, a decision that is only waiting for the validation of the association's executive committee bureau meeting in the months ahead. Isaac Ngonkum has details in the following report.
The appointment of Benjamin Didier Banlock as Secretary General of the Cameroon Football Federation, Fcfa, is no surprise to keen football observers in the country. From the time he was dropped by former Fcfa Supremo Seydou Bombon Joya in favor of Parfait Siki, many suspected he had swayed allegiance to Samuel Etofi's aspiring presidential candidate for the Football Association at the time. His association with the former Indomitable Lions captain during the campaigns gave added impetus to proponents of the thesis he was negotiating his comeback. However, after Samuel Etofi's election win last December 11, speculations again went wild, with Frank Happy and Abdurrahman linked to the top job. The emergency committee meeting that brings back Benjamin Didier Banlock as interim Secretary General of the Federation therefore puts an end to all speculations. The appointee is only returning to a house he knows very well, and everything remaining equal will be assuming the full status of Secretary General after the next Fcfa Executive Committee Bureau meeting.
And on to news out of the country, the United States lifted travel restrictions imposed on Southern Africa, an announcement which takes place a month after flights were suspended to the new Omicron COVID-19 variant. Meanwhile, authorities of the Democratic Republic of Congo now number 8 dead and 20 wounded in the attack that hit the city of Beni on Saturday, December 25th, 2021. We have this story and more with Ruth Fonyo.
United States announced that traveling between the U.S. and Southern Africa can resume on December 31st. The announcement takes place 1 month after the U.S. suspended all flights from the region following the announcement of the Omicron variant. South Africa, Mozambique and Malawi are amongst the 8 countries that can resume traveling with the U.S. after December 31st. Many African leaders denounced the travel suspension as unfair and pointless. According to the Biden administration, Omicron infections are already present in the U.S., therefore making the travel suspension pointless. Experts have warned that the Omicron variant is already the main source of COVID-19 infection all over the world. The death toll of the attack that hit the city of Benin on Christmas Day has risen. Authorities of the Democratic Republic of Congo now number 8 dead and 20 wounded. When the toll was initially announced, 5 dead had been reported, amongst whom children and at least 1 soldier. The Congolese government accuses the Allied Democratic Forces, ADF, a group of rebels active in neighboring Uganda. On Saturday, a terrorist attacked a restaurant located in the center of Benin where people were gathered for the public holiday. Constant Zima, the military governor of the province of North Kivu, hopes to identify the attacker thanks to a database. North Kivu and Ituri provinces are the stage of a violent conflict opposing terror groups to the military. Since November 30th, the Congolese and the Uganda armies have joined forces to track down and stop terrorists. Somalia's allies and international observers have expressed alarm over the escalating power struggle between the country's president and prime minister as heavily armed factions patrolled part of the capital, Mogadishu. Soldiers loyal to Prime Minister Mohamed Hussein Roble on Tuesday took up positions near the presidential palace. Relations between the pair have long been frosty, but the latest developments have sparked concerns for Somalia's stability as the country struggles to hold long-delayed elections. Under Somalia's complex indirect electoral process, regional councils are meant to pick members of the lower house, which then picks a new president.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is at this end that we set the curtains to our 6 p.m. English news over the Republican television. Desiree Trésor Mbonel will be with you when it's exactly 8 p.m. for news in the French language. And I'll be with you again tomorrow when it's exactly 6 p.m. But until then, just stay tuned to interesting programs over the Republican television. Have a blessed evening.